Hi everyone! So I have had a lot of you guys request that I do a Bollywood smoky eye, and I was like, what does that mean? A smoky eye is just a smoky eye, but Bollywood is just an Indian girl wearing it. But anyway, this is what I came up with. It's just a very smoky eye look that you can wear to dinner, or if you want to go out clubbing. I just love this look. I just don't get a lot of opportunities to wear it, but if you want to learn how to do it, keep watching. So the very first thing I did was prime my eyes with Painterly Paint Pot, and this is just a really good neutralizer for your eyes or your eyelids, because I do have some pigmented eyelids, so I just like to make it very neutral. Next, I'm going to use the Urban Decay 24/7 Velvet Black Velvet Glide On Pencil, and I'm just going to put that right in my waterline now. A tight line with it as well. And I'm also just going to take it at the top of my eyelid. So I'm not being careful whatsoever. I'm just depositing the color on there and then blending it out, because this is really going to enhance my eyeshadow color. Now I'm just going to take a blending brush, and I'm using the MAC 217, and just blend that eyeshadow out. And this Urban Decay eye pencil is actually really easy to blend. It's not one of those eyeshadows that is so long lasting, but it's also not an eye kohl, so the consistency is really perfect. I mean, you can see it's really easy for me to blend it, and all I'm doing is just being really quick. Sorry, that was my phone. I'm just being really quick and blending it out. So the eye base is complete. Now this is nowhere near perfect, but that's okay, because we're really going to perfect it as we go along. This is just a pure base. So next I'm going to be using this Coastal Scents 28 Neutral palette, and this is actually my sister's, and I saw that she had it, and I was like, can I borrow this for a video? So I'll try it out for you guys. I have tried it before, and I think some colors are better than the others. Like, I definitely think the warmer, darker colors are much better than any of the lighter colors. I think they're very chalky, the lighter colors. So I wouldn't really recommend this palette if you're going to be expecting amazing highlight eyeshadows. But if you're looking for affordable, you know, smoky eyes, dark colors, I think this is a good way to go. And it's so inexpensive. So I'm going to actually start off with the darkest color. It's kind of hard to do this on camera, but it's this dark, almost, I think it is almost like a black color. And it has a little specks of glitter, so I really love the color. And I'm using that with a 239 brush from MAC, and I might get some fallout because, I mean, these are not, you know, the greatest eyeshadows, but they're pretty good, I have to say. I do like them so far. So I'm just pressing that on top of my base and not bringing the color up too much, because you don't want to look like a raccoon, and just creating like a shape for your eyes. What I'm doing is covering my entire eyelid. Slowly pressing it in. And then at the same time, I'm taking a clean 217 blending brush from MAC and just going to blend that out. It's always easy to just blend as you go than to put on all your eyeshadow and wait till the very end, because then your eyeshadow will set into your primer. So it's always easy to just press your eyeshadow on and then blend it out. Okay, so the black eyeshadow is all done, and I'm going to keep adding some more as I go along, and I'm going to smoke it out at the bottom. I do have to let you guys know, so far, I don't know if you can tell, but I am getting a ton of fallout, and that almost never happens with my eyeshadows. But I do have to say, I would still recommend this palette, because I think it's so affordable, and there's just a lot of great choices. Anyways, next I'm going to be using this warm brown here, and I like the color because it's matte, and it's really pretty. So I'm just going to take that with a clean blending brush. This is MAC 286. And I'm going to just put that right into my crease. And I'm doing small circular motions and blending it inwards. This is just going to serve as a really nice transition. So it's not just like, boom, black eyeshadow. You know, it's just going to serve as a really clean transition into our highlight, which we'll add in a little bit. And once I know I have the color all done, I like to take a clean blending brush. I use a lot of blending brushes. Can you guys tell? I have like 5 here. But that's just the way I've always worked. You don't obviously have to use this many. And then I'm blending that out. And see how that just is like a really nice gradient effect? That's what I'm going for. Now for my highlight, I'm going to be using this pigment from MAC. I don't know what it's called, and I actually broke the little swifter on top. So I will put the name down below for you. And I'm just using it from the lid. And I'm going to put that right underneath my brow bone. And this is just going to add a little bit light back on to my eyeshadow, because this is, you know, a pretty dark, intense look. And I just love this pigment. It is so pretty. It is the most subtle highlight if you're my skin tone. It's not going to be like crazy, but it is just so pretty. Also went ahead and added some eyeliner at the top of my eyes. If you're wondering why I do this with such a smoky eye, I personally feel like it really completes the look. So now I'm going to go back in a little bit and add some mascara, add some highlight and whatnot. Alright, so if you might notice that I look a little bit white over here, well, that's just because I tried this concealer from, again, the Coastal Scents Camouflage Palette 10 Concealer Shades. And I wanted to try it to see if it matches. I'm going to be using this shade right here. And I kind of like it. I mean, it has a consistency. It's very thick, the concealer. But I feel like it applies very nicely. And this is my first time using it, so I can't tell you how long wearing it is and whatnot, but I do like it. Maybe I'll do like a blog post or something on these concealers and whatnot. I don't know yet. Let me know if you guys want to see that down below. So I'm just putting that, just pressing that right where I want to highlight under my eyes. And I want to add some more here. This has a really funny smell though, that's weird. It smells like plastic or something, I don't know. I've never really had a concealer smell like that. But I do like the consistency, so what does it really matter? Alright, whatever I have left over on my hand, I'm just going to put it right down my nose. And then we'll see where life takes us. Alright, I'm using the contour blush from Real Techniques just to blend and buff this into my skin. And it blends really nicely, actually, I have to say. Alright, I'm not complaining. It blends beautifully actually into the skin. Alright. We'll see how the flashback and everything is when I take pictures and from what you guys see on camera. Because I have no idea if this is suitable for like a bride or someone that's going to be photographed a lot. My concealer is all done. Next, I'm using my Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo Foundation, and I'm in the shade Medium 57. And I'm just going to put that all over my face. I'm only using the tiniest little pump because I really feel like this concealer really, I mean, covered up a lot more than I even anticipated. So I'm just using a tiny little amount there. And I'm using the Real Techniques buffing brush. You guys know I love this brush. And I'm just going to really lay this out all over my face, and I used a really tiny amount because then I'm gonna start to look crazy and cakey, and nobody wants that. And then I'm just gonna buff this in. I love this foundation. I've been wearing it like every single day recently because it's so long wearing and it just doesn't move through the day. I can't believe a foundation can last this long, but this one does. So I really, really love that. Okay guys, so my foundation is on. I'm just gonna put on some lips, and I'm using MAC's Cosmo, my favorite lipstick ever. I love this color, and ooh, it has a little bit of red mixed in it from last use. I'm just gonna use that straight from the tube. I know it may look like I'm wearing a lot of foundation, and like it doesn't match because I was just looking at it and it looks really cakey, but I promise you it does match. All right, so I'm gonna go fill in my eyebrows. Where is it? I'm gonna use my Sleek eyebrow kit in the shade Light, and then I'm gonna add some mascara. I'm gonna use the Voluminous Carbon Black, and then I'll be right back to show you the small finishes and the rest of my face and whatnot. Okay guys, so we're almost done with the entire look. I'm going to be using Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC in medium dark, and this hopefully will make me look a little bit more like myself and not... You know what I've actually realized about this Kat Von D foundation? Every time I wear it on camera, so many of you guys comment that I'm wearing too much makeup and whatnot, and otherwise you never say anything. So I'm just going to assume that this is not the best foundation to wear on camera, because in person this looks fabulous, and on camera even I'm looking at it and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of makeup. So yes, you guys know my style. You know I don't wear like crazy foundation, so cakiness is not okay. All right, but anyways, in person it's fabulous, and I know you guys will love it in person. Okay, I'm gonna be using Give Me Sun Bronzer from MAC. I'm only using a tiny bit just to add some color on my cheeks and just contour a little bit. I'm starting to get back to my old color, like my actual skin color, which is a lot lighter than I am right now, and I'm really happy about that because I was getting a lot of spots all over my face too from, you know, being out in the sun this summer so much. So glad my actual skin is coming back, which is great. All right, for blush, I'm going to be using, where is that beautiful blush? Oh, it's right here. This is called Sun Bask from MAC. I love this blush. I did talk about this in one of my other videos. It is the most beautiful color ever, warm color ever. I really love this, and if you're Indian or if you have olive skin tone, you need this blush. It is so complimentary for our skin. So I love this blush. Okay, some final touches to the eye. I'm going to be using that same pigment that I use under my brows, and I'm just going to add that right in my inner corner, and I'm gonna blend that out. I'm not gonna leave it like this, just to add a little bit of brightness in such a dark eyeshadow. I usually just add it and then just pat it with my finger so it blends out perfectly. We're almost done, I promise, and the last step is I'm gonna actually take this dark brown eyeshadow color, which is right next to the black, but I'm not taking the black, and I'm gonna add it underneath the eye just to smoke it out. A lot of you guys ask me why I do this step, and you'll see exactly why in a second. And I'm very surprised that not a lot of you guys know about this. So I'm just gonna put this, I want to just look up and then just put it right underneath and smoke out that lower lash line. I feel like this is just as important as putting eyeshadow on top, because as you can see, it just pulls the look together and just really makes you look like, if I do this versus this, it's not a completed look until you smoke out the bottom as well. So I'm gonna add some mascara and then I'll be right back. And this is the final look. I will do a close-up for you guys so you can see exactly what I did, and I hope you guys like it. And make sure if you do any of my looks, so if you try out any of my looks, send me a picture and I would love to feature it on my blog. All of the pictures that I take of this look and the products and everything will be listed on my blog, so be sure to check that out in the link down below, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys!